All right, let's talk about MYEFO. Is it going to be a surplus for 24-25 in MYEFO?
No, there won't be a surplus printed for this year in the mid-year budget update. It will be a much smaller deficit, but we're not yet ready to print a surplus for this year that we're in now. We delivered the first surplus in 15 years last year. We've got the deficits right down, and that's rebuilding our buffers, rebuilding our budget, but it's also saving on debt interest costs, which is a really important part of our budget strategy. So what people can expect to see next week in the mid-year budget update, a traditional update, not a mini budget, not a whole raft of new initiatives, but the mid-year budget update will be defined by one thing, and that's responsible economic management, because we know that responsible economic management is helping us make progress in this fight against inflation.
So you've sort of touched on this, but let's get it straight. No new cost of living relief in this MYEFO statement. Is that right?
I've made it really clear that people shouldn't expect big new initiatives, really, of any kind.
But is there anything in there? Is there a little nugget or...?
No, we've made it clear that we will consider the budget situation and the economic situation between the mid-year budget update and the budget itself in May. We've said that we're rolling out these cost of living help right now, and it's helping. The ABS says that it is making a difference, getting downward pressure on inflation. That's really important to us. Tens of billions of dollars of help rolling out. And we will contemplate and consider the economic and budget conditions after the mid-year update, but before the budget.
But the backbenchers are restless with you on this, aren't they?
I talk with them about this all the time. You know,
I'm sure you do.
I meet with backbenchers a lot, bilaterally, little groups, bigger groups.
And they say, Jim, can't we do a bit more here? This is killing me.
Well,
that's what they say, don't they?
Well, two things. They recognise that we are rolling out a heap of cost of living help, point number one. But point number two, they're being good local members and good senators and reflecting the very real concerns that people have in communities, which we share, about these cost of living pressures. And that's why we're not just acknowledging them, we're acting on them too.
Let me ask, can you summarise for us the National Cabinet, what was achieved today and what it will cost the federal budget?
Well, this was, in my view, an absolute triumph today, this National Cabinet outcome. I don't know anybody else who could have brokered the kind of progress that we've seen today, apart from Anthony Albanese. I pay tribute to the extraordinary work that he has done, brokering this arrangement, and I thank genuinely the state and territory leaders and treasurers for the way that we've engaged with each other in a spirit of goodwill. We all represent the same people. We've got very similar objectives. We all want the same outcomes for the people that we jointly represent. And the work that they've done collectively today is incredibly important progress. I pay tribute to Anthony.
All right,
and I thank everyone
explain
involved.
it to us. What does it mean? It means the states pick up more of the NDIS bill. It means you give them more money for hospitals. It means you continue the current GST arrangements. Is that right?
Well, the three main parts of it are the NDIS and health and the GST no worse off arrangements. And what we've recognised here is not just the pressure on their budgets or our budgets, but the pressures on all of our budgets. We want to deliver better health services through hospitals, urgent care clinics, and when it comes to older people in hospitals. So we've found a way forward there. We want to make sure that we deliver for people in the NDIS system that we believe in and which needs to have a really important future. And so we've found a way to recognise those cost pressures in the NDIS. And I've been really pleased, frankly, to strike an arrangement with the states and territories on the GST no worse off deal. I understand they wanted some clarity. I understand they wanted some certainty. I got the ball rolling at the Treasurers' meeting last week. I always knew that there'd be some middle way between what they were proposing and what we were proposing. And Anthony Albanese's been able to strike that deal today. What this deal means is we all go forward together, delivering better services for the people that we jointly represent, and that's our goal.
What's not clear from the press conference, and now we're told we have to wait for tomorrow, is what services are coming off the NDIS and going to those so-called foundational supports. Is that autism? Can you tell us what it is?
Well, the purpose of today was to ensure that we were working together on the 8% target, growth target, remembering the growth in the NDIS spending will still be quite steep. But we want to target it at 8%. We need the states to help us do that. That's what today was about, and recognising we've got more work to do on foundational supports. Tomorrow is about releasing and taking people through the recommendations of the review. I don't think that's especially unusual to make sure that we've got the basic funding arrangements right and to let the relevant minister, in this case Bill Shorten, outline the rationale.